Did I mess it up? Oh, has I messed it up? No, I didn't mess it up. My son won't be mad at me.
We're live. We are live. Good evening, world. How are you? Um, Welcome to our Wednesday night check-in. I haven't had an opportunity to talk with my friends or my son in a few days now, so we just gonna catch up and invite you all to the conversation. That's what the check-in is. So it's the opportunity to kind of hash back over some things. I've been home on sick leave for a week and a half now, so I am utterly disconnected from the world. I have not watched much news. I have not read much newspapers. I dug through a few things to try to have some interesting conversation this evening. Some things I found interesting. Um, and hopefully uh, we will have a good time tonight. Look, it's all hope tonight because I don't got nothing. Look.
Well, I sent them little articles that I found that I thought were very interesting.
Look, it's all hope tonight, baby. Cause, cause your girl is in another world right now. But I am grateful for my friend, prophetess, minister, author, glorious Sonia Walker to join us on tonight.
Hello. It is so nice to be here. I
I
don't
was
know how
about
long I'm
to
gonna be here.
look, hey, a few minutes is enough because I don't intend to go. I know last week we had a marathon. We were on.
We sure did.
But
We
tonight I'm
had
gonna
a
be a better
marathon.
steward. Yes, I'm gonna be a better steward of the Lord's time on tonight.
Yes,
Because last
yes.
week I knew I was gonna be home the following day, so I wasn't in any rush. And we'll see what the Lord has to say in the morning. But um, it's been a really interesting couple of weeks around these parts, is what I'm gonna say. So I come to you all tonight giving you my best Billy Porter. I don't know what happened with my hair tonight. It got wet, so it's that
That shrinkage.
and it is shriveled. So yeah. So we on teeny tiny tonight.
Oh Lord.
Mr. Jason Hayes in the house on tonight. Good to see you, sir.
Hi, Minister Jason.
I started last week thinking of the idea of highlighting a young entrepreneur. And this week, I wanted to talk about one of the most fantastic cookies I've had in a very long time. And the reason I want to talk about that cookie is because it is made by a couple of sisters.
Awesome.
The name of the company is the Chocolate Girls Cookies. And it's located here in St. Louis. And after I tasted this wonderful cookie, I then got the opportunity to get the story behind the cookies. And what it is a cookie bakery, Chocolate Girls Cookies. Two sisters, Maya and Nadia Turner. Guess how old these babies are? They're 7 and 9.
Y'all better go, girls.
And they are a St. Louis-based cookie company. They've been selling cookies at Soulard every weekend for the past few months. Their parents
Wow.
and Shelly Williams helped them out, a lot with it because again, they 7 and 9. I remember being 7, and I remember being 9, and
I wasn't making cookies.
running no company and baking no cookies for nobody.
I was eating more pies and beating up boys.
Yeah, I wanted to eat some cookies, but I wasn't trying to make no cookies. And hold on a second, let me go get one of these cookies for you so you can see the doggone thing.
Cookies, ooh, cookies. So, Minister Jason, what is your favorite cookie? That's if you're still out there, Minister Jason. What is your favorite cookie? My favorite cookie is chocolate chip with milk.
Well, how wonderful that you should say that, because that is one of their feature flavors.
Really?
Sell chocolate chip, oatmeal, and Minister Jason's favorite, oatmeal raisin.
Awesome.
But what I loved, because I'm not a fan of the oatmeal raisin, I just don't like cooked raisins. I don't understand what the problem is. I don't get it. I don't like it. So I may get an oatmeal raisin cookie, but I'm gonna pick them raisins out of there. But these beautiful brown sisters make. Can you see this cookie?
That is good.
First of all, the depth here.
That's a big cookie.
Okay. Then the size. Look at that. That's a big sizable cookie. But see, here's the breaking. It's soft, it's moist. But that's their oatmeal caramel. And then they do stuff around the holidays and all of that. Me either. Not a fan of the hard cookie. But these sisters have been making cookies for some time. They do have some cookies that are made without milk. I saw they use vegan butter. So if you're, vegetarian, there's some specialty things going on. But for people who have allergies, who are allergic to lactose, they do have cookies that are made without milk. But I thought these were some fantastic things. They were recently featured in Feast magazine. And I just think it's notable. But it's Maya and Nadia Turner. The company is Chocolate Girls Cookies. My goal is to dip by Soulard on my way home from service to pick up some, because they were absolutely fantastic.
Oh, they're at Soulard.
Mm-hmm. They're at Soulard.
Why you didn't tell me about that when I was home with you?
I didn't know. I literally found out about them today. Joanne Lay, as a matter of fact, shared some with me today, and the chocolate chip is fantastic. The oatmeal caramel is fantastic. So I'm sure for those of you who don't mind baked raisins, go for it, But anywho.
Light on that.
Yes. So that's our young entrepreneur this week, last week. So big round of applause for the Chocolate Girls Cookies. Last week we featured TJ's for my incense. I got to reconnect with TJ because I'm out. Sitting up here with just
Where is the link for TJ's?
I put their email address, and he has a Facebook group. I'll see if I can share the Facebook group. But all I have tonight is a limoncello candle from White Barn. And I'm not a huge fan. So I don't even have it lit. I'm just sitting here with a regular scented room, and it's
not working for you.
It's so dry. It is so I don't know.
The princess got her bow on. All right then. Go ahead, princess.
Whatever you're doing in this season, don't do it without me.
I know that's right. All we need now is the bishop.
No, you don't. No, you're fine. Mm-mm. Nope.
Close it up for me.
Nope. Mm-mm. Nope. Mm-mm.
Wait! She said that so quick and so fast. Nope. No, you don't. Nope. No, you don't.
You doing
I don't know
That
how-
exhibition is out of control.
I don't know how long she gonna let me stay.
Honey. Nope, you're not missing nothing. But I was looking for my lighter to light my candle. I found my other bag of TJs.
Well, I'm so glad you found your other bag of TJs for those people like us who don't have TJs.
Because this regular scented room was getting on my nerves.
Oh,
No.
Lord.
But
I got some frankincense and myrrh.
oh my God, that's awesome. But this one is now last week we had the Tia Cooper, I think it was, and it smells good. I am heartbroken that my favorite of his is a LeBron James inspired scent. I'm so angry. I don't know what to do.
Why?
Because I don't LeBron. I just don't.
Oh yeah, I don't either. Well, I should not smell that one, then I won't have to worry about it. So as long as I don't smell it, I'll be good.
Oh, I'm telling you, you want it. Trust. I'll trust. I'm gonna get some more.
I'm trying to stay away so I won't be like you and be like, I'm gonna get the LeBron, but I ain't a fan of LeBron.
But the one I have this week is a very clean and wholesome scent. This incense loves the Lord. It's Steph Curry. So.
Oh yeah, yes.
We'll see. But I like this one because it smells like something you can like after you've cleaned your house, and it's just wholesome. But TJ scents. But we're gonna get it. We're gonna move on from our young entrepreneurs. They're a blessing though. An absolute blessing. But I gotta reconnect. I gotta re-up, man. I'm empty. I'm out. So
your storage is empty.
And I am not available if I gotta sit in this boring smelling room. But anyway, earlier today I saw that it is the birthday of our friend, crooner extraordinaire, Brother Al B. Shore.
Okay.
Oh, back in the
Happy birthday to him.
Al B. Shore.
Demetria thought that was funny. I know.
I know you did.
I know.
I know you did. I like that little. Woo, I was in love with that little yellow man right there. Him and Christopher Williams. Woo, Lord have mercy.
Yeah.
I think I was so mad when that old not so good looking Wesley Snipes put that knife in his hand on New Jack City. I was mad.
Don't do it.
I was like, why you put that knife in his hand?
Don't do it.
I know that's right.
Amen.
That was just wrong.
Amen.
What?
And so
well, come on, tell us all about it.
I know, Demetria. That was my jam.
Yes.
Jam, yeah.
Yeah, that's when music was music. Now music.
There's still some good.
What you doing?
It's raggedy, but it's out there. I was listening to that one song, and the song is really catchy. But I was like, it's such a sweet serenade to fornication. It bothered me. I couldn't. I wanted to love it. I couldn't. Because I kept thinking, why he gotta leave the door open? She don't live there? And it was like, no. But that song is catchy, boy.
Yeah, I don't listen to Yeah, it's certain artists that I don't listen to. I'm like, yeah, nah, you take my mind to another place. I'm gonna leave you where you at. So some stuff I can listen to and I'm good, but I don't listen to him. I don't listen to Christopher. I don't listen to. I definitely don't listen to Prince at all.
You don't listen.
My mother was not. My mother was really a saved woman, but she really was not into really what I was doing. Cause what was his name, Dr. Jockenstein? Is that who it was?
Operating on your mind. Yes, ma'am.
And then what's his name? Who would do the Quiet Storm? Yeah, they was in there playing and Prince, and I be there just thinking. I'm like, when I think back, I'm like, my mother really did not have a clue. Bless her heart. She had no clue. With me sitting there listening to Prince's songs with my crazy self.
No.
I thought Minister Bridget Davis just did not know what was going on.
No, yeah, growing up, my granddad wasn't having it either. We were able to, when it came down to TV, we really didn't get to watch a lot of TV. We could watch the evening news. We could watch family. I know, right, girl? And then we could watch the monologue for Johnny Carson at night after the news. But after that,
it's over with.
This is it. Cut that TV off and you can go to bed anyway.
Woo.
Nah. And you know what? That's what I was trying to tell Trey. I said, TV used to go off air, and he looked at me the first time I told him that. He's like, go off air. Yeah, there was nothing on 24 hours a day. You would get that thing after that man had killed all those little black boys in Atlanta. You would start getting, it's 10 o'clock. Do you know where yours? Thank you, Doc Winter. It's 10 o'clock. You know where your children are. You would get that. And then what was it? Right about midnight, here they come playing the Star Spangled Banner, and the White Fuzz would come.
After Barnaby Jones, I'm showing my age now.
After Barnaby Jones, TV was when I taught him that, he was like an amazing, like, what you mean over? It was over.
It was over.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, when over the summer, right. Now, over the summer, I would spend my summers with my cousin. There, I got to watch just all the TV I could stand. So the saddest part of the day during the summer was that doggone Star Spangled Banner. It's Ray Charles.
Yeah.
Because it was the Ray Charles America.
Yes.
God so done shed his grace.
Yes.
I despised Ray Charles.
Yes.
It was actually Jamie Foxx in the movie that turned me around because I didn't like him. I was like, He made it was time to cut the TV off.
Time to cut the TV off.
Yeah, it was time to cut the TV off. And then he didn't come. And then y'all remember when we had those little rabbit ears, and you used to have to put the aluminum foil on it to get the.
Yes, child.
You had to get the aluminum foil on it, and then if it was too bad, you'd have to tell somebody, "No, go stand up over here and hold your arm up."
Right.
No, trying to turn the channel like halfway, just a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Yes. Look.
Remember when the handle would break off and you had to get the screwdriver and not the screwdriver, the pliers, and you had to turn the channel.
All of that. All of that.
All of that.
I remember we had a little black and white TV. And I remember when I went away to school, because my grandmother, she's, old school sanctified as well, but she wasn't quite strict about certain things. And I remember when I came home from school, she had a color TV with the built-in VCR. And I thought, my granny done backslid because she don't do this. What in the world is going on? They're in the house watching movies. We couldn't go to the movies. So you mean to tell me they at the house watching movies?
Yeah.
Please.
I mean,
It was interesting. Times were different, but I think that they were good for us too. Because I think that there were a lot of things that you couldn't be exposed to. Guidance, a bit of protection, kept you from.
We won. The rotary phone. He didn't know what that was. That's a boy. When you do like this, we get that clicking.
We had a rotary phone downstairs until 96.
Really?
Yeah.
Come on.
Somewhere in there. Because that phone lasted forever. And so now, the little cordless phones and all that, those break all the time.
Break all the time. Dial out. I mean, it's just so much, so much stuff that, this generation, because they're so tech savvy that, if all of that went away and they had to pick up the old stuff, they wouldn't have, like now, you can use. Back in the day, you had to keep doing that thing with your hands to the next channel. I said, or if it was broke off, you had to use the pliers to try to get around.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the first car phone was in the bag. Oh my God, that was hilarious.
Look, I remember. Yeah, my cousin Herman was a doctor, or is a doctor, I guess. And he had one of those car phones in the car. And I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
They're millionaires. They have a car. They have a phone in the car. He's got to be extremely important.
Yeah.
It was just too much. And I remember. Yeah, so much has changed. And I remember my mother was a loyalist. I think she held on to the very first cell phone she had forever.
Oh, no.
And it was, I remember I went and got her phone and she had the one, she had to have been maybe, they stopped making parts for the phone. It's the only reason she got rid of it. When she took it to, I think she was one of Verizon's first customers. Because whatever Verizon used to be before it became Verizon.
Right.
He was with them. And she's like, I need y'all to take I'm like, Mama, we're not going to be able to get a charger for this phone. They don't make these anymore. And girl, look at the phone. You get a call and it didn't have caller ID. It just said ring.
Yeah. Yeah.
Things have changed so much. In like a span of a few years, knowledge and information has just increased to such a weird level now.
Yeah, I think the beauty of it is to know that you have relatives that have lived long enough to see things evolve. So I think that is just so amazing that God has granted some people longevity enough to see where they started growing up to where it has evolved, to see the things that they see now that they probably never thought they would ever see. I think that is just a beautiful thing, like, my God, this, I would just love to just talk to your grandmother just to hear, what is so different now than, when she came along.
Yeah. She has some really great stories. She has some really, really funny stories. The ones for me that are funniest with her are the ones that just kind of catch you off guard. because my granny's been a church lady my whole life. So I believe she, was born in church, raised in church, and there it is. And when she shares some of the stories, because I know there was one time she told us about she lived with some friends when she got grown. She lived with some friends, and they were bootleggers.
They was bootleggers.
Bootleggers. They were making beer. So I'm like, okay, so this is during Prohibition. My gosh. So, but they were bootleggers.
Wow.
And she made deliveries. She didn't know how to make it, but she would people would order a bottle and she was the one who would drop it off. They would order a bottle of beer or something like that, and she would go deliver them. Well, she wore this dress. It was a big dress and it had pockets. And that's how she did deliveries. And all I could think was that had to be the hottest beer in the world. But okay. So she was telling us a story one day. She was taking it down the street to the person it belonged to. But to get there, she had to walk past her mom and dad's house. Usually no big deal. Yeah, usually no big deal. But this day, she's out there walking and granddaddy is sitting on the porch. And she tried to ignore him, and he's like, "Girl, you lost your mind. Don't you hear me calling you?"
Oh, she don't want him to know what she's doing. She like,
and so she didn't want to get close to him because my granddaddy he wasn't a big man, but he was just one of those. You just knew he knew everything.
Right.
she didn't want to go over there. Because she said she knew he would know she had it. But he never gave her any indication that she knew that she was sweating. She was sweating so bad because she knew she's standing there with this bottle of beer in her pocket, sitting up here talking to my granddaddy, the Reverend Jesse Brown Jr. She was nervous. Her nerves was bad. But she tells us more about stuff like that. I know when she was for her 100th, that midnight before she went to bed, we sat up and talked for a little bit just about how things had changed so much over time. But really the stories I love to hear from her are, stories about family and stuff like that. So, but yeah,
that is so good to have when you get to have, that opportunity to have those kind of stories, to share it. And, I think our young people, they slight our elderly, and we are a country that we believe in throwing them away or whatever. We don't believe they have purpose or use, and they have so much wisdom, so much knowledge, so much purpose, so much use. If you listen to just some of the things that they tell you, it'll make you think about some things you don't need to be doing, to keep yourself out of trouble. But yeah, it's just a whole lot of stuff that we used to have that was so funny. I remember cartoons for me on Saturday. I think my favorite cartoon was Schoolhouse Rock. That's where I learned how a bill was made. Was watching Schoolhouse Rock.
I'm just
Junction Function,
and on Capitol Hill. Well, now it's off to the Senate where I sit here and wait. That was the jam.
Yes, it was. I mean, and it was educational, and it was a fun way that you learned how a bill became a bill. What else? I used to like to watch Fat Albert. It had learning lessons in it. It was just good cartoons. I remember when they used to have, what was that? Alphabet soup. Not soup. What was it? Alphabet cereal. Oh my God. That was one of my favorite cereals. I used to sit and make words. So I've been thinking about all those things, and I'm like, Lord, my God, I've been here long enough to remember all that kind of stuff. I'm not complaining, but just thinking about all the stuff I did, Then now cartoons is this old Pokemon stuff and all this, throw out this card and this happened. I'm like,
Yeah.
Hey, don't sleep on Pokemon.
I know your nephew like Pokemon. He like that. I'll be like, look. But I'm just saying, just thinking of all the different cartoons.
Yeah.
And
Look,
some of them were violent. Now that I look back, because that Road Runner and the Coyote.
Roadrunner was violent. Roadrunner was hilarious.
Looney Tunes is my favorite.
Yeah, see, Mr. Jason, you're a little bit younger than me. I remember Reading Rainbow was on, and I loved reading, but for some reason, I couldn't do Reading Rainbow. And it might have been because it was the kids' time.
Yeah, I couldn't do Reading. I couldn't do Reading Rainbow.
I never got into Reading Rainbow.
Me
I
either.
don't know why.
Well, when PBS is one of your only channels, that's what you watch.
Yes, that was good. That was the only channel we had.
But we had to battle for TV time because you got a TV upstairs and a TV in front room and a TV. This TV right here. And when the soap operas go on, you can watch some TV. Hated it because it came on late in the day and it interrupted everything. I wanted to watch Zoom, Electric Company, Sesame Street. So Reading Rainbow, I never really got a chance to watch it because you couldn't. What was it? Young and the Restless, As the World Turns, Guiding Light, and something else. The CBS soap operas, and then once if the housework was done, you could probably get to watch some TV.
I used to watch all of it. Was All My Children. Tonight was what she used to. I mean, she used to watching it anymore after that.
You said which one? Because you broke up. Did you say Edge of Night? Because that was my jam.
Girl, used to watch was the Edge of Night. And that's the reason why I ended up with a TV in my room, because my dad and I would fight over the TV because he wanted to watch wrestling. And so my mama got tired of it. I never will forget, she got so tired of us arguing. And so that Saturday morning, she made us get up, get dressed, and we went to, what was the mall over there on Lucas and Hunt? We had like the Woolworths and all that. Yeah, we went over there and got a TV for my room because she was tired of us arguing about the TV so that I could watch cartoons and stuff in the morning. But yeah, you're right. It was fighting over who could watch the TV. Because everybody had their little time set. I remember that. What else? Oh, I was a Musketeer. Oh, I used to love that with Donnie and Marie. M.I.C. Why? Because we like you. Yeah, I love that stuff.
I watched Mickey Mouse Club a little bit, but by the time Brady came along, Mickey Mouse was a whole different situation. Now he watches it. I just enjoy Hot Dog. Hot Dog. I don't even know what they're talking about. But these cartoons now are the jam.
Yeah. Now you're right. They did change it because when I came along, it was it wasn't Mickey, that was gone. It was called Mickey Mouse Playhouse or something. I ain't gonna lie, I was ready for him to wake up on a Saturday morning so we could both sit and watch Mickey's Playhouse, because I would sit there and watch that and I was enjoying it. I didn't like that one thing with them one people down there in that water, the yellow people, the yellow sponge person, what it was, that SpongeBob. Yeah, I had to pray for him to stop liking SpongeBob.
I thought SpongeBob was hilarious.
Oh yes.
Until people started talking about Patrick being gay.
Yeah.
And I kept thinking, well, if Patrick is gay, he's probably being gay with SpongeBob. And so it changed the whole thing for me. But I love, because my girl was Sandy Cheeks. She was a hot mess.
Yeah, now I will say I didn't really like the cartoon, but I did like Sandy Cheeks. She was a hot mess.
She was a whole hot mess. Come on here, SpongeBob.
She reminded me of Peppermint Patty on Charlie Brown.
Peppermint Patty was a mess too.
Yes.
That's who Sharon. Oh man, I should not say that woman's name.
Don't.
He's not gonna watch it. That's who Sharon Dozal always reminded me of.
Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness.
And it was for the weirdest thing, not because of how she looked. It was because when she would wear sandals, her toes would be big like Peppermint Patty's.
Stop it. Stop it.
These are just jokes.
These are jokes.
But she did. She reminded me of Peppermint Patty in the worst kind of way.
With the Charlie Brown.
Yeah.
Teacher was saying, walk, walk. Let it go.
And because I'm not ready to lose my job, we have a current person who sounds like Charlie Brown's teacher to me. We're on those WebEx meetings.
It's the whole time.
Literally. With a few R's thrown in. I ain't say nothing. I'ma just eat my brown girl cookies.
That's what it is.
That coming by.
Yep. So yeah.
I'm gonna be plugging up because I'm gonna be thinking about that.
Okay. We'll have we'll have an opportunity. But look, I just sent it in the private chat and tell me I'm lying.
Oh, let me
But yeah. But yeah, I enjoyed those. And so by the time my son comes along, the fact that I'm a cartoon lover, I'm watching TV more than him.
Oh yeah.
And by then we had cable, so I'm on Gullah Gullah Island. Let's all go to Gullah Gullah Island. I enjoy them so much. The little critter on there. Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego?
Oh yeah. That was one.
Yep,
Who was the other one?
That was my jam. When they brought Sherry and Lamb Chop.
Okay, Lamb Chop.
Yes. Trying to think of some of the other stuff.
Who was the little girl? And
was Saturday morning.
That's who it was.
It was what now? Are you talking
Dora
about
the Explorer? Dora the.
Dora.
He used to watch that. He used to watch that. Oh my Lord, I'm telling my age. I remember cartoons he watched.
Kaylin doesn't watch either. Her and her boyfriend look like Dora and Diego to me.
Yep. What it was. Jake and the Neverland Pirates.
Oh, I remember that.
What else? What's the name? Oh man, I forgot the name of the show. But I used to sing these songs. Had a little fish in it. On Nickelodeon. I forgot the name of that show.
Nickelodeon.
It had some little fish in it. I'm gonna look up that show. But I used to be, I knew this. I think I knew the songs better than Malachi.
Mm-hmm. I thought it was with my son. The only thing he was into that I really couldn't get into was Teletubbies. They were just creepy to me.
Yeah, I couldn't get into them.
Oh, Brady, it didn't matter where he was in the house. And he probably wouldn't deny it if he was here. But that was his jam. Because that little lady would make that announcement at the beginning, Teletubbies, time to play. And here he come.
Here he come.
Teletubbies. Girl, it was a mess.
Oh, Bubble Guppies.
Yeah.
I don't remember that one.
Yeah.
That's a little more recent.
The first I saw Bubble Guppies when I was in the hospital.
Yeah.
I had a surgery, and I remember I went to sleep on watching something that night. So when I woke up the next morning, stuff like that was coming on, and I switched over to the Cartoon Network, and some of that stuff is just hilarious. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It looks like a fever dream, but it's hilarious. You can't tell what the critters are. Are they animals? Are they people? You just never know.
Yeah.
Hey Arnold became one of my favorites. I still watch Hey Arnold.
Hey Arnold.
Yeah. I like Hey.
I found Hey Arnold on Hulu, and I think I've just about watched everyone again because I enjoy good TV, but now there's so much other stuff to watch.
Mm-hmm. What about Barney?
I never could do Barney. Barney was always creepy to me.
Oh, Barney was awful.
Come on.
It was creepy that I
not like. Yeah, he did not like Barney. He couldn't stay. Matter of fact, he would cry when Barney came on because he did not like. He look at that thing and he would bust out crying. I'm like, well, okay, I know it's ugly, but now he was a fan of Clifford the Big Red Dog, and he liked Elmo. And now I love Clifford the Big Red Dog and Elmo. Oh my God, I loved Elmo.
Elmo's my boy.
Yeah, he would do Sesame Street and do Elmo and Cookie Monster. So he really, like I said, it was just really SpongeBob. Now the girl, yeah, she was something else, but Patrick and SpongeBob, I just couldn't be. Yeah, they got on the nerves. Didn't really like that, but it's just.
Yeah, SpongeBob was just weird to me because he was a kid, but he had a job.
Yep.
And there was just so much going on.
Who had a job?
SpongeBob.
Yeah.
Cartoons.
Yeah.
I remember I used to watch. What was it? I used to watch Johnny Quest.
I watched Johnny Quest.
I don't even know why. What was his little friend's name?
Haji.
Yeah, Haji. Woo! I used to watch Johnny Quest and Haji. They used to crack me up.
What's a cartoon you couldn't stand? Mine is easy. I could not stand Scooby-Doo at all.
I'm sorry. I was a Scooby-Doo fan. Maybe because they had that van. But I love Scooby-Doo.
Yeah. Scooby-Doo. But the old Scooby-Doos. Oh yeah, I love
the old ones, not the new ones, but the old ones.
At all. Scooby-Doo and the Flintstones. Couldn't stand them.
Oh, I love the Flintstones and the Jetsons. Oh, I love the Flintstones and the Jetsons.
I remember.
What cartoon did I not like?
I remember there was one Sunday morning. I was home and in bed because we have service on Saturdays, and this was sometime last year. And I was in a room that didn't have cable. Where was I? I don't remember. No, I found out MeTV was on my package. And I woke up that morning and I think I watched about 3 hours of the Flintstones. It was fantastic because I had made up in my mind I was doing nothing productive that day. I was going to rest and do nothing for anybody because I haven't been feeling good. And I know I spent about 3 hours watching it. And I was like, why do kids enjoy this cartoon? Because Fred had grown people problems. There was nothing about that show that
Yep.
I liked it, and I don't know why. I can't even tell you why I liked it, but I liked watching the Flintstones. I don't even know why, but I
It
really
made no
like watching it.
it was the most grown-up cartoon in the world.
Yep.
Fred lost his job.
Yep.
Fred lost his job, and he was trying to do something nice for Wilma. So he went and got a job as a bus driver. He lost a kid while he was driving buses. So him and Barney had to go try to find this child. When I tell you,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Why did I enjoy this cartoon as a kid?
It stayed on too.
Fred had so much business. Fred had too much.
Yeah.
He said, "What cartoon did I not like?" Oh,
I didn't like, and it was later on down the line. I didn't like. Well, I won't say I didn't like. I never watched. So I guess I don't like it. I never watched Thundercats.
that was it.
Now, don't tell my son because he believes that we watch Thundercats and Transformers every Sunday morning. I think what happened, and
you know he don't see this, right? You know he don't see this.
Well, we talked about it.
Oh.
And what happened was he would come in my room on Sunday mornings and turn the TV on, and he would sit on the bed, and I would go to sleep. I was so convicted because I realized that was very precious time to him, and I was asleep the whole time. Yeah, see, He-Man was
yeah, that's it. That was one. That was one. I didn't like He-Man. No, I did not like He-Man.
A remake of that finna come out next week.
Really?
What?
I think and it looks awesome. Like
really,
the trailer is awesome because they tried to bring it back a little while ago, but of course they messed it up. But the one they finna do now has me truly nostalgic.
Yeah, I didn't like He-Man. I didn't like He-Man.
Yeah, and I think part of the problem for me was when the theme music came on for Transformers. Wait a minute, was it Transformers? I think it was Transformers, but when the theme music came on for that, it was time for me to leave. If I heard that, I was in danger of missing my bus.
Okay.
I just associated that with you need to hurry up and get out of here. And so I don't recall ever watching 5 minutes of that show.
Oh, man.
But except for Sunday mornings when I was sleep watching with my cousin.
I didn't like the Monsters. I didn't like the Addams Family.
Are you kidding? See, over the summers when I could watch all the TV I wanted, I don't know how I have eyeballs now because I watched all the TV. I guess trying to make up for when I knew the summer was over and I was going to go home.
What is the power of Grayskull? I've never heard of that.
That's He-Man.
That's He-Man.
That's He-Man.
That'd be the reason why I ain't never heard of it because I didn't watch it. I didn't be down with it. Now you know something that I used to watch and I don't know why I watched it. I used to watch the what's her name, Isis. I don't even know why I watched that. I used to watch Isis.
Yeah. See, the superhero stuff, I think you could lump all of the superhero stuff in there together. I really didn't watch much of it except for Voltron. That's the one. That was another one. None of the superhero type stuff did I ever really get into.
I like Wonder Woman.
But I like the old TV shows. I watched Wonder Woman. And then the really, really old with the original Reeves, not Christopher Reeves, but I think that was his dad, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
That was Superman on TV. I loved that show and the original Batman, the like Bruce Ward and all Burt Ward and
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
I loved those, and they were old by the time I came along, but I still enjoyed watching those a whole
I
lot.
love Batman.
Man,
Yeah.
Bam! How?
Right.
Oh, Voltron, yep.
Blam!
See, Voltron used to come on early in the morning with Punky Brewster.
Really? Punky Brewster was my girl.
Listen, Punky Brewster, Small Wonder.
I think Punky Brewster has a show on now.
Yeah,
She
they brought
does.
it back. She's grown now, and she took a child. Oh,
Wow.
that's the new the new He-Man trailer. But
Okay.
yeah, that's the new He-Man trailer there. And all them shows. Oh man, y'all got me reminiscing now. Man, because I'm talking about Brave Star, Hong Kong Fooey, Silverhawks, Thundercat, Jabba Jaw. I'm talking about the whole U.S. Cartoon Network. I'm talking about like I didn't like Smurfs either. I didn't like Smurfs. But
I never was a big Smurfs fan.
Yeah, I couldn't get into Smurfs. It just was, I don't know. It's not my cup. I know why now. I probably could, but then I just couldn't get into Smurfs. I was more slapstick. Tom and Jerry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Tom and Jerry. I did like the Smurfs. Now that I know what the real.
Yeah, I couldn't get into them. I like the slapstick. I like to laugh. But I know MC Hammer used to come on, but they used to always end ABC cartoons with the with the Looney Tunes. And when they started doing that, and I can remember waking up Saturday morning as a young 20-something, I'm like, what's all these live TV shows? What's this? Ain't no cartoons on? No cartoons on.
Right. Yeah, because Power Rangers and stuff like that. I never got into those. I never got into that stuff either, but I did. I loved the Warner Brothers stuff when they kind of did their updated stuff back in the 90s. Did the Disney stuff? Animaniacs.
Animaniacs that jump.
DuckTales, yes. Animaniacs, DuckTales,
yes. DuckTales. See, that was the afternoon lineup. That was the afternoon lineup, DuckTales. And see, they messed up waking up in the morning getting a bowl of cereal.
They sure did. That was my thing. I would wake up, get my bowl. Cartoon would be until like noon. It was cartoon until from 8 to 7 to like noon. And I have my TV because we had a TV in the kitchen. I had a TV on the kitchen table, my bowl of cereal and my milk. And Trey liked the Power Rangers, and I would just watch cartoons. Trey liked the Power Rangers. He tried to watch Ninja Turtles, but he didn't stick with that too long. But he really liked the Power Rangers. I should have known then he was gonna be in the robotics.
Yeah, that kind those by the time those came along, I was really kind of locked into animation type stuff.
Yeah.
And so I loved all of those. I loved all of that kind of stuff. And see, for me, when I came here to live with my grandparents, it was a shock to my system because we were latchkey kids. So before I came here, so when I was itty bitty, we watched a lot of TV. We watched a whole lot of TV. Like I remember watching The Exorcist at home by myself.
No.
Yeah, I remember that. But we watched a lot of TV, those after school specials. That James at 15, all of that, and that whole bunch. I enjoyed TV so much, so it was definitely a shock to my system. And then Saturday mornings was for housework, so you could watch TV once you got done. once you got done doing housework. But as far as all of that, I really there's just a chunk of years where I really didn't get a chance to watch TV. So when I did get the opportunity, I think I kind of OD'd during those times because I think I've watched every Little House on the Prairie there was.
House on the Prairie.
Little House on the Prairie, the Monkees. My after school lineup for
He said the Monkees. Oh my goodness.
Girl, ooh, girl, I love the Monkees. Hey, we're the Monkees.
The after school TV lineup was the Monkees, the Archies,
yes,
Brady Bunch,
yes,
Little House on the Prairie.
yes.
If Little House on the Prairie came home, somebody was going to be home. So it was TV time was done. It was time to do homework.
Wow.
But yes, that
what
was.
About oh God, what was the other one I used to watch? What was the other one? Not Little House on Prairie. It was another one that would come on that I would watch.
The Hardy Boys.
Yes, the Hardy Boys.
Mm-hmm.
I used to watch Nancy Drew. Not a lot, but every now and then I would watch her. But the Partridge Family, I used to watch them.
Oh my goodness, the Partridge Family. Yes, I know, right?
Yeah, because I wasn't a big fan of David Cassidy from the Partridge Family. I liked Sean Cassidy, his brother.
Yeah, I like Sean. I didn't like Davey. I like Sean. David. I like Sean. Now, what was the show that Davy Jones was in? Because I used to like Davy Jones.
Davy Jones, that was the Monkees.
Okay, so that was the Monkees. So yeah, I always liked Davy Jones, and I would watch the Monkees because of Davy Jones.
Yeah,
because I really remember Davy.
Mickey from the Monkees is the one whose mom invented whiteout.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, those were the shows, but it's you see how things have transitioned now and how things have changed now. Yeah. And just I remember so much from those shows that it's really not surprising it's really not hard for me to believe, when we're talking a lot about some of the hidden messages and the agendas that are there, that it's like that stuff is locked in.
Yeah.
That stuff is locked in because it was our entertainment. And even now, it's how you'll entertain a kid. You want to make the bishop happy? Give him a iPad and YouTube where he can watch Blippi or Ryan.
Yeah.
The little boy knows everything, and he learned it from Blippi and Ryan.
Yep.
My sister was telling me he was in the car the other day and they were driving by and he said, "Oh, mama, that's a police car." And I was like, "Who taught him police?" Blippi. And that little dude, Ryan, that little boy is a menace.
Yes, he got his own channel.
Oh, Dennis the Menace. That's the other thing I used to watch.
Like a Roku channel. He got his own channel.
Yes.
No.
Ryan is taking over.
Yeah.
Yes. Ryan is a thing.
Now, when did the strike happen that changed our TV? The writer's strike.
Was that in the 90s? Was that in the?
It was in the 2000s
or the 90s?
It was in the 2000s. The last one was in the 2000s. That's why we got all this reality TV now, because they were scrambling trying to see what they're gonna do for TV, and reality TV.
Okay, is that the one where they were on strike for an entire year?
I don't remember how long. I'm looking now too because they messed up TV with that junk.
There was one in '88.
Oh yeah,
that went from March to August, to where there was no new TV during that time.
Okay.
When they went on,
It was the
And
2007.
then this one in 2007.
That
Yeah,
was the one because that was when the what's that thing with that's what messed up girlfriends was that strike.
that's messed up TV. Period. Because now
Yep.
all we got is this reality junk. That ain't
Yeah,
reality at all.
not at all.
Not at all.
I'm talking about it. Oh,
Not
I
at all.
mean,
Mm-hmm.
I mean shows like Fear Factor, but
Mm-hmm.
but those kind of shows, but all the rest of this junk scripted. Well, even
Yeah,
that scripted, but it's still they were
right,
doing some stuff that was ugh. But
right.
all
Yes,
the other junk is like, really, bro? Like,
yeah. And it's really
Um,
interesting now because you see how the stuff from reality TV has become how people in real life
live
try
their
to live
life.
their life, even though the people on the shows don't even live their life like that.
right? Yeah,
You know, they don't even live their lives like that, you know,
no,
but
It's so
they'll
messy.
be in rented houses because this is what, you know, an Atlanta housewife does. But then you
yeah,
got regular people trying to live their lives like them.
yeah,
That's
And
true.
when you see certain things now, like I remember when people just used to put on regular makeup. I remember a day
yeah,
when people used to just wear regular makeup, but now, and I think a lot of it is because of what they see on TV. There was a YouTube video, and it was just the lady putting on makeup, and it took her almost an hour to put her makeup on. By the time she got done, she didn't look like herself anymore.
right.
And I'm like, so much goes into looking like something rather than being something.
Yeah,
And it's almost like now it's difficult to tell the difference between, sometimes it's difficult to tell the difference between sometimes like drag queens,
yeah,
regular women, because there's
yeah,
so much makeup,
yeah,
there's so much eyelash, there's so much.
yeah,
What they used to do, I believed, being a caricature of women, because me and my friend Yvette used to talk about it all the time, and say they don't even look like regular women
yeah,
because everything was so exaggerated.
yeah,
But now in real life, you
yeah,
know, the lashes are out to here. I remember because I didn't know, because that became a big thing while I was really, really churched. And I remember going to a football game, and I thought for certain I was seeing spirits because everywhere I looked, the girls had these things under their eyes that turned out were shadows from the lights through
and
the
the
eye.
eyelashes.
And I
Wow.
thought, oh my God. Because I remember the first time I saw the girl, I was like, oh my God, what is that? Why does her face look like that?
Mm.
And it was the shadow cast from her lashes. And it's just like there's become such a, I can't remember, and androgynous isn't the word, but there's so much of that is what you see now.
Yeah,
Is either it's ambiguous where you can't tell if the person is male or female, or there's a hyper exaggeration of femininity.
yeah,
I was looking at this one lady's post today, and she always has so much. Her content is fantastic. The things that she says, the stuff that she talks about is really fantastic. But when you look at her, there's her everything is so hyper sexualized. Her shirts are cut really low, you know,
mm-hmm.
and her everything is just out of whack. And she talks about, returning to being feminine and all of that. And it's like, I'm with you on all of that. The problem is your shirt is about to fall off.
Yeah,
Is there a way for us to, sort of bring back some of those things where, you know, women were more feminine and men, we allowed men to lead the way. You know, we allowed men to be the leaders. That doesn't involve you showing off all your stuff, because now you just have it's you're there's just so much being shown that it's like, man, what she's talking about, I would love to share with other people.
But she's showing too much stuff.
There's too much hanging out. I can't. I wouldn't do that. Because
like you said, you know,
if it's, you know, because I'm, you know, the mom of a son, a lot of the things that a lot of the people that I'm connected with I'm connected with a lot more males on social media than I am females. And I'm like, I just wouldn't set my brothers up like that to even share that
Yeah. Everything is over hypersexualized now.
Yeah.
You know, they look at that and think, well, oh, they're doing it on so and so on that reality show. You know, hey, I'm doing the same thing. And I remember there was a short interview I think that I watched with Keisha Knight Pullman, and the interviewer asked her, because she lives in Atlanta, about doing the Real Houses, you know, that Atlanta Housewives or whatever the thing is called. And I loved her response. And she said, no, I don't feel that that's something that I'm called to do. I said, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Everybody don't have to be on there. There are some people that already know that's not something that, and I said, Kim Fields did it.
What's the little girl that left the House of Pain and Black Lives Matter? Yeah.
Oh yeah, China. She blessed me a great deal on TikTok. Watching some of the videos that she posts.
Yeah, the young lady now. Yeah. You know, she left, basically leaving Hollywood in a sense. Yeah.
China McClain.
Yeah. And it's because we know we know it's a world, but they know it's a world.
Right.
And the images, everybody trying to look like they Instagram filters.
Right.
And it's just crazy. And like you say, the world think that's how you're supposed to look. And if you don't look like that, then you're nothing. You know. So that's why your Instagram is so full of this, you know, pictures, and obviously, you know, a lot of our first ladies are influenced by those shows.
I guess a lot
of the first ladies obviously are influenced by those shows. And you know, there's nothing wrong with you know, dressing nice, dressing presentable, but some of that stuff, causing brothers to stumble out there. And you know, if you got it, flown it, that shouldn't be. That's why the Muslims make their women cover up, because that's supposed to be for me.
Look, I don't know what it is that I searched for, but lately a lot of the Israelite French fashions coming in my timeline.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? That might not be so bad an idea. I might buy me a couple of these little French dresses.
Hey, because it's getting bad out here, man. Even down to, I remember, let me see, my daughter's 23 and 24 now, and I remember going to shop with them. I'm like, man, what is this? This ain't for her.
How,
plunging necklines, everything short. I'm like, man, what is they doing? Bible say prostitute, not their daughter. They doing it.
Yo,
they doing
time.
it. They
big time.
And TV is horrible. Well, it's the programming. It's the programming. And the 2007 writers thing really messed it up, man. So from 2007, 2008 to now, it was already declining, but now I remember watching TV and hearing them cuss for the first time. I was like, on regular TV, I was like, they said what? First time I seen like a bra, I was like, what? They show that, but they didn't show that kind of stuff on regular TV. But now, they push the envelope heavy.
Real heavy. There's another. I know. There's another trend.
I know that watching
the thoughts on after Minister Sonia goes.
I like watching all the old shows like Gunsmoke and The Rifleman. And I look at, they would shoot people, but you never saw any blood. I remember the first time there was a show, and then you saw blood, and I was like, I was not little, but I was a teenager, and I was like, that's real blood? They're showing blood? Not real blood, but I was like, they're showing blood, but I had gotten so used to when they would shoot them, you didn't see no blood. They just would fall down and they were dead. But now you see them killing people, hacking them up, putting them in all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. I know there's some aspects of that I think could be helpful if it wasn't done in such a sensational way. Because I'm like you, I'm old enough to remember the shows where there were all these bloodless shootings and it was the people were dead. Oh, they died, from what you don't know, because there was never any blood. Gunsmoke and Bonanza were famous. That those old westerns that my mom used to. Everybody got shot, but everybody died the same way. Oh,
yep.
Everybody died the same way. A lot of the karate movies, I don't know if they died or just passed out from the pain or whatever it was, but everybody died the
same way.
I love Into the Dragon is the bomb, but everybody dies in the same way. But that movie tickles me because I'm trying to figure out, are they dead or what's happening to these people? But I think that it could be helpful or at least educational for people to see. No, when you shoot people, they bleed. It's not a clean death. It's a horrible way to die. It's a hard thing for you to do to somebody. And so there's an aspect of it that I think could be helpful, but it's so sensationalized. And now because of, Saw and those kind of horror type things, we're so desensitized to it now that you got some people, the more gore, the better.
Yeah.
The more yuck, the better it is, the more it's enjoyed. And so it's just, it's something. I just think that TV media, all of that. And a lot of those things are the reasons why I'm at this old age interested in going back and, just doing some formal training for things like journalism and broadcasting, that kind of thing, because I think that these media outlets have a power that we don't tap into a whole lot because, TV was the devil for so long. Social media, all that Facebook. I remember getting just agitated with people who were so churchy that, I ain't on that Facebook stuff. And it's like, I wouldn't be proud of that. I'm not on that social media stuff. I don't know that I'd be proud of that because that's where your field is. Your people that are seeking information, that's where they are. Your people that need to be touched, your people that need the information that you have, that's where they are. Your kids, that's where they are.
That's where they are.
You know, and I know the kids left Facebook and went to Snapchat. You better go get you a Snapchat page. I know they left Snap and went over to TikTok. You better get you a TikTok page.
Yep.
Because trust and believe, that's where your people are.
Yep.
That's where your folks are. And that's why I remember being unendingly impressed when we went to Fire Conference. It was the first time I had seen anybody do that, where they actually encouraged people, take out your phone, go on Facebook, take a selfie, and tell people where you are.
Yep.
I thought they're on to something.
Mm-hmm.
They are on to something. And I started, there are a few places where I see they do like the start of service, do a church check-in.
Mm-hmm.
And we did that at a couple of our youth events, literally send them to get their friends, Instagram, Facebook, all of that, send them, and then have them put the phones away. You've been fair because you know they like the phones. So let them use that phone, but then have them put it away. And to encourage them to share, the one with the most likes and shares, you know, there's a little prize for you. Just finding a way to, because I think we have to figure out how to meet people where they are instead of demonizing everything. Now, the stuff that's the devil, call it the devil. There's some devilish content.
Hi, nephew Brady.
Hey, Brady. Hey, look, I'm calling my own son nephew.
That's okay. I do that when you do that. I do the same thing.
I think it's like Brady said here. You have to meet people where they are. You know, keep your standards in place. Keep your standards in place. Being on Facebook doesn't mean you got to be out here showing your stuff. You ain't got to be on here twerking.
Right.
You don't have to.
Girl,
you don't have to.
That Will Johnson is a mess. When I caught that,
is crazy.
Jesus.
He did that choir rendition of that mess. I said, what?
Will Johnson is insane. But that we'll be fighting for the rest of our days. That is my jam. We'll throw them hands in the sanctuary. We'll throw them hands. Throw them hands or something, and we'll be fighting.
I gotta go there and find it because I only got to hear it for a hot second, and it sounded so funny because I was still tripping off the one about Kirk Franklin.
Mm-hmm. He's and see, it's people like him I enjoy so much.
Oh yeah.
The guy, I think his name is Curtis Akeem. I don't know him very well yet, but I think he's one of the band directors at one of the Southern schools, I believe it is. And he came on one day and did a report after church that just about killed me. And it's just there's some people who just have some really interesting ways of using the platforms to entertain. It doesn't have to be filth. You know, it can be fun, but it can be informative as well. You know, I see so many people on there, you know, using the lives on TikTok. There's a few people that come on and do Bible studies live on there. Some musicians that will post, you know, tracks and tell people, you know, sing along with me, worship along with me. And the people come in and do duets. And by the time you get done, you got 10 or 12 people singing along together, you know, on a song. There's just so many ways, you know, that we could make use of these platforms and make use of the access to the audiences. And it doesn't have to be filth. You know, it really doesn't have to be.
Yeah.
It's hard to fight the algorithm though. It doesn't take but one misstep. Especially on TikTok, it don't take but one mistake. And your feed will be jacked clean up.
No.
OMG.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I'm supposed to make me one. I don't know. I gotta get in there and start working with it, playing with it. I don't know. It's about like what they say? It's about like making a PowerPoint to me now. I was like, what? That's work, man. It's work. But I gotta make it fun. I gotta make it fun because they be making it fun. Cause I be on there wilding out, laughing like That's what I want to do. I want to laugh. TikTok will have you rolling, and I done reset my For You too. Man, I be on there rolling.
Yes,
rolling.
it is
Yeah,
really.
I haven't had a chance to watch any more. Some of his stuff came up today, and I was like, yeah, today's probably not that day for me to watch that at work. I got to really work and try to get this thing together so we can win this proposal. But yeah, it looks like that'll be the thing that can cheer you up when you're down and out. Cause he's crazy. Cause when he did that thing about the white teacher and the black teacher, I said, wait a minute. I said,
he did a whole message about the fries at the bottom of the bag.
I haven't seen that yet.
Girl, it's ridiculous.
What his name is?
He said, I am Will Johnson is his handle on just about everything.
Okay,
I gotta find that one about the fries at the bottom of the bag.
Girl, he was sitting there he was talking about how he had got his food and he had gotten done eating, and just when he thought he was done, he reached down and there was some fries at the bottom of the bag. He manifested a whole spirit. They're talking about there's something about the fries at the bottom of the bag. He's a lunatic for real.
He is, because one time he was on there and he talked about somebody daddy and they couldn't sing or something. I was like, what?
Yeah, your daddy sold you the dream. Not me. Yes. He's a nut.
Totally.
He's weird. And it's been really interesting to see people using like Facebook Live and Instagram to really branch into, to where they're influencers. They're actually impacting the culture because they found a way to interact. Kev on Stage, I think, has done it better than anybody.
Yeah.
Yes, well, it's crazy.
Better than anybody. When he came up with those socially distanced comedy shows,
it
was over. It was over.
He did it so much better. I remember when I first started watching him, when he was doing about the shouts in the church. Oh my God. I watched both of those episodes. I was hollering because I was like, this person in the church do this one. This person in the church do this one. I've been known to do that. I mean, I was rolling because it was so hilarious. I was like,
no. When he had that, it was like a gang. It was a video about it was gang wars, but it was churches. It was like Church of God. It was like Kojic versus was it Kojic versus it was PAW versus somebody else. It was hilarious.
I'm about to find that.
Oh my gosh. It was one of the first videos of his I ever saw, and I was like, this dude is crazy. He's crazy for real. He's super crazy. When the church ladies showed up in their denim and their blue jean skirts, ready for war. It was like,
but I like what's her name too. I don't see her that much now on there. The one that used to do Miss Charlene. Oh my God.
Yeah, I haven't been seeing Charlene a lot lately. I saw one with her the other day. She was fussing. She was fussing about something.
I think the one that did me in is when she talked about them people and them school supplies. Mm-hmm. Oh my God, I was done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She talked about them people and them school supplies so bad.
Yeah. But I think that there's a way, to really, make really relatable content and to build your audience in such a way that the people know, who you are, what you're known for, and what you bring to the table. And it's just really good. And like I said, there's some who come up in my feed, they're just going to preach that they're going to bring a word. There's some they're going to sing something really good. There's some that just going to make me laugh. and I love it. There's a young lady on there. She does it's urban Bible stories. And she takes Bible stories and she turns them into like a using modern language. They're hilarious, but she very accurately tells the stories in such a way that it's just like, you know what? And I remember there was one I watched, and because of the way she did it, it drove me to go read it. I'm like, wait a minute, is that what happened for real? Hold up now. And it was just like, now that right there,
that's good.
That's the stuff that appeals to me.
That's good.
Because, you know, I am of the belief we don't know the word enough to be ready for the end times. We don't know the word enough to be doing church the way we do church now. We just don't. We don't. And because we don't know the word, we're missing so much that I believe the Lord would have us know and do now. But we're so illiterate. If pastor ain't talked about it, we don't know nothing about it.
Yeah.
And so many times we're locked into systems that I know this is what it says on the page, but Bishop said it. And I think that many times, especially in denominational churches, we don't realize how often that's what we do.
Right.
And it's just like, well, what was the point of even translating it, you know, out of Latin if we were just going to rely on that one way to learn, that one way to know? What was the whole point? It could have just stayed in Latin and we'd have been, could have stayed in Hebrew. We'd been fine. If we were not going to study to show ourselves approved unto God as workmen who need not be ashamed, rightly dividing, not just what you heard preached, but the word of truth. And not being afraid to ask questions. But so many times we're in systems where we can't ask questions because you're doubting if you have questions. You're doubting if it doesn't make sense to you. Then now hold on. It flooded and covered the whole earth. Were there black people on this boat? Because the science tells us we can't get black people out of these white people. So what happened? How? And you got the devil in you. You know, if it just don't make sense to you.
So
you know, yeah, it just, and so it's. I think that if you're able to make content that pushes people to, you know, really check what they know.
Yep.
Really just check what you know. Brother talked about it in the lesson tonight. Check what the preachers are telling you so that you can know it, not just know it the way they said it.
Yep.
You could potentially be in a church where you're dealing with somebody who is eisegetically going outside, using that scripture in a context that is not intended to be used in, and you'll believe the eisegetical and won't understand the context of what they're actually trying to tell you. And your faith is built on what pastor said and not what the writer of that word meant.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I think that as ministers, I think that we have a challenge in this season to really understand the word and to use these platforms in a way that's interesting. You know, I'll watch 5 hours of teaching because I'm insane. You know, especially if it's gonna have some happenings to it too. You tell me, Elder Mike Holloway, Brother Berean, Dante, and some of the apologists gonna be on fighting for 5 hours. Get my popcorn and some green tea. It's going down. I'm gonna watch all 5 hours.
All 5. All 5.
All 5.
Woo, she said all 5.
All 5.
And be in the chat. Look, in the chat, have my own fight. What you talking about? But understanding everybody's not there, and so taking to heart the challenge. Okay, TikTok's, you got 60 seconds. What you gonna do?
Yeah.
You got 60 seconds. What you gonna do? And so,
I'm telling you.
I stepped out there just at the very basics of the basics, which is okay. I got 60 seconds. What can I do? I can pray. All right. So we jump in there and I go out there and just pray for TikTok. 60 seconds. Call it a day. And in it, I'm using it for purpose, but I'm also learning how it functions. Okay, so this is how you make the voices change. Okay, so this is how you put the music in the background. Now the problem is I don't know how to control what the music is, so I might be praying for you, and Busta Rhymes song is playing.
Busta Rhymes. Busta Rhymes, Tracy, really.
Hey, it goes out there on TikTok. Trust.
Yes.
But it's a matter of it's a matter, I think, of using what God has given us. You know, I know Satan is the prince of power of the air, but my God is Lord of the airways.
There you go.
Been out there. I think we have a responsibility to use it responsibly.
Yes.
Yeah, because the enemy gets to, you get to have everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, Apostle Stevenson talked about it some time ago when he talked about, you know, people really get all nations because they're extremely theatrical. And sometimes I'm old school church. So sometimes it's like, whoo, yeah, that's a little much. I don't know. I feel if I can handle that. But understanding Satan don't get to have all the lights. He's the only one that can have color and creativity.
No.
He's the only one that can have the nice backdrops. He's the only one. Can't nobody but Beyonce.
No.
In the stadium. I was like, no, man, the devil done lied. The devil done lied to us. The devil done lied to us. We allowed to have that stuff. I think somebody was talking recently about the rainbow. And I remember when Greater Pentecostal some years ago had that event where they had these rainbow colored bracelets, and I remembered at first I was real apprehensive about wearing it. I don't want people thinking, you know, that I'm a part of the community. I don't want nobody thinking that about me. But at the same time, remembering the whole point, which was the rainbow was given as a sign of a promise. Who told you that you can make that yours?
Yeah.
Who told you?
I don't even remember what them things was for. I don't even know why we did it now.
Yeah, that was I remember it set with me because that's the kind of stuff that triggers me. Is I know that this is what you think this is, but here's the real deal. Here's who the Lord is. Here's a purpose in this thing for us as believers. And I think that we really do have to just be. I am a fan of using what we have, whether it's something that catches their attention, something that catches their eye, whatever it is, to meet people where they are, and if that triggers the conversation, if that triggers and gives you the opportunity to have that conversation, that entryway, then I think we've got to use it. I believe that we've got to use it. They say all's fair in love and war. We at war.
We at war.
We're at war. And people being stolen away. It touched me hard again when brother was talking about it earlier. That again, the for there to be a falling away, that means that at some point you were in for real.
Yeah.
And I know that we have some people who, you know, there's things that get exposed that show you they were never really in. But there are going to be some brothers and sisters that were really in. That whether it's because of being, you know, appealed to by fables, you know, itching ears, the truth gets exhausting. You know, I'm tired of hearing about damnation coming. I'm tired of hearing about end times. I'm tired of trying to live holy and people around me doing what they want to do, and it looks like they're being blessed. You know, that's why that scripture, fret not thyself for evildoers, I think it's going to be really key for us, because it can look like people are prospering. There's a way that seems right to man, but at the end, it just ends in death and destruction. It looks like fun. It looks super cool, but it's drawing you far away from the things of God.
Yeah.
And it's opening you up to things and spirits that are stronger than what got cast out of you before. And it's just, I don't know, that is the heartbreaking part for me, is that there's no real legit. And I know people have been prophesying for years that we were going to start to find out that there would be pastors that are preaching all the time. And we're going to come to find out they don't even believe what they're preaching. They preach it because it's a job. People have been prophesying that for years. And I believe we're at the place where we're about to start seeing more of that happening.
Yep.
Because the way Hillsong has been hit over the last year, maybe 2, man.
Yeah.
That just blows my mind right there. I was like, oh my God. And it'd be like a few weeks or a month, a few weeks later, not even a month, there's another hit. I'm like, well, my God, how many more hits can they take?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Because
go ahead, bro.
No, I was going to say we get caught up into, we get starstruck in the ministry, and we can't get starstruck in the ministry. But that's what we end up doing. We get starstruck in the ministry and make the stars of the ministry like the Pope.
Yeah,
make it fallible. And you know, that's why I don't want nobody to follow me. There's a lot of people. Well, not a lot of people, but I'm figuring it's a lot of people. There's more people who are more receptive if there is an image on the screen instead of them scriptures.
Yeah.
They come on and see them scriptures. They're more receptive to, but he like, I don't want them to see you. I'm like, oh, yeah, all righty then. And let's keep putting those scriptures on the screen then. You know what I'm saying? There'll be times where I come on and it's just me, you know what I'm saying? And it's interesting. The times I'm regular talking get more views than when I have scriptures on the screen. Interestingly enough, but we become starstruck and make these people infallible. Then like they in there, and I used to think that about the ministry too. If you was a preacher, you had to be called to God, so you must be in there and in there. But I told you here, I'm gonna look up that article and see if I can share it with y'all, and see if I can get a backstory. It was a lady who, after 6 years of pastoring, just got up one Sunday and said, "Hey man, I don't believe none of this. I've been atheist for the last 6 years, and I can't do it no more." And it, it was big around here because I guess atheists had been growing, because it was some years ago, and a lot of people are falling away from religion. And so that's what it is, like, because I'm telling you, that's why I said it tonight in the broadcast. I'm gonna let you. I want you to lose your thought. The people on TikTok have some good arguments. I know probably people wouldn't. I know Christians wouldn't like me saying that, and I'm not saying it like they're right. But what they presenting and the way that they present it, you gotta be like, okay. I see I gotta go do some research right now then, because they didn't did some research. And right now I got no answer right now. I gotta go look at this. I gotta go look at this. So I like I say, I'm joining. I've followed a lot of people on TikTok just to hear from the horse's mouth their beliefs and reasons for opposing the scripture.
Yeah,
it's some interesting stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, so,
it really is. Yeah, it really is. And I think that I really do believe that those of us who have, the mature stomach that can handle, those kinds of things and not be moved, that that you'll hear something, and even if you don't have an answer, it doesn't make you doubt. It gives you somewhere to go look. It's like, oh wait, hold up. let me tighten up on this. Wait, I hadn't even thought about that as a question because I remember watching a debate and it was terrible. I mean, it was horrible. But in my mind, I'm just thinking this guy is so off.
Yeah.
That there's no way anybody's listening to him.
Mm.
But you go check out the social media, the YouTube. Oh, they're paying attention to him.
Paying attention to him.
And I mean, out there. Because one of the things that I heard one day was, the 400 years prophecy couldn't have applied to Egypt because that was land that had already been given to Abraham. And so it couldn't be a foreign land. Oh my God, are you
Yeah.
And it's just some of it gets so and it's like no, you better go do some reading and make sure that you understand what he's talking about. And there's just so much of that kind of stuff out there where it's like, no, you have to allow this stuff to push you into studying it, that it pushes you into figuring out what it is that they're talking about and making sure that you understand.
Today we come
What's
to
what?
celebrate, to embrace our history, to learn of our past, and to be able to move forward
in and that's why I watch debates. All right, we finna get off. Come on.
Yeah.
All right. You ready to lay down?
Yeah.
You ready to get? She probably want her now, huh? Okay. But that's why I tell people to watch debates, because you can learn something, even if it's nothing but a question I didn't think about.
Right.
Question, something I ain't thinking. Okay, we finna go. You wanna go see her now? She probably want to lay down to First Lady right now.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, because at the end, that's what she do in the middle of the night. She reach for her, then she might wake up and reach for me, and if she don't find one that she want to reach for at the time, it's smoke in the city. It's smoking. Yeah. And like right now, she want to lay next to the First Lady. But,
yeah, that's like
Pastor Richardson got a debate coming up this weekend. It's on the 18th. Did Jesus exist? And it's $20. I'm about to see you the link. It's on his page though, but it's about did Jesus exist? And that's what they say he didn't exist. We finna go.
Right.
Well, we finna go. I'm finna get her calm. I enjoyed y'all. I love y'all. Thank you for the love and support.
Have a good night.
All right. I know we gone. All right.
Good night, ladies and y'all. Yeah. So we're gonna go ahead and close for the night. And just but there were some interesting things that occurred this week. We've got the bill that's out there being debated to make Juneteenth a federal holiday. It was passed by the Senate, and the House passed it. So it looks like that's about to be a thing, and I think that's fantastic. But it was interesting. There was so much debate about it because there were those who feel like it's setting up another. It's a setup for another Independence Day based on race. And it's always interesting to me that the thought is that you're creating problems versus realizing, no, there is a problem. And this is just about the problem. But I'm looking forward to seeing where that conversation goes. So hopefully by the time we get a chance to get together next week, there will be some movement on some of those things, and we'll get more specific with stuff like that. But I really enjoyed tonight's journey down memory lane. I hope that you got a laugh. It made you think about some things that you hadn't thought about in years. I pray that as this week goes about, as I like to do every single week, the check-in started out as a conversation, after work conversation with my son and I, because, over the weekends, he's busy, I'm busy. We wouldn't get a chance to talk, but we would talk on the way home. And so I had the thought of just sharing, those family conversations with the world. So I thought we would always wander into some very interesting topics. And so we tend to get extremely conversational here. So some night there'll be a focus, there'll be a goal, we'll be headed somewhere. Other nights it'll be like tonight, where we just kind of chit chat and enjoy each other's fellowship. But above all, what I really want to encourage you to do is check on your people. You got family and friends you haven't talked to in a very long time. Call them, see how they're doing. We're not in lockdown anymore. Most states have completely opened up, and you can go wherever it is that you choose to go. Face masks are recommended. I know they're not being mandated, but they're recommended. Everybody that's walking around without a mask ain't been vaccinated. Don't be crazy. Numbers, right. Yeah, the numbers don't even add up. The people aren't getting a shot like that. So, fooled into becoming a victim, unless you know beyond a shadow of a doubt that you're around people who've been vaccinated and are clean, have been distancing. Be wise with your life. I'm not, I just don't want it.
I don't want it either.
No, yeah, I just don't want it. When you look at the stories about the results, the consequences, long-term health consequences, and that kind of thing, I don't need that. So, didn't mean to wander off on a COVID tangent, but be careful, be wise, do what you need to do. Prayerfully consider vaccination. We're not here to promote anything or anybody, but prayerfully consider it. But be wise in this season. But check on your people, see how they're doing, because we're coming out of a time that we've never been through before. And even though you and I may not be in fear, there are some people who've been in fear and who continue. Look, that's what I'm talking about. I couldn't, it would be the worst thing in the world to have survived this whole mess.
Yes.
And the closings and the quarantines and companies and people losing their jobs and this mask and don't go here and use this soap on all of the surfaces. No, it's airborne. Going through all of those things, Dr. Fauci and things, and put the light inside the body and so to get to 22 and catch this.
I'm with you.
Yeah, yeah, and this thing is out here mutating and changing it up. We were talking about Transformers earlier. Shoot, this thing out here doing all kinds of things. It's doing tricks and somersaults.
And you're the X-Men.
Right. Just be wise. Even if you have been vaccinated, I don't think that's an opportunity to just go crazy. Still be wise and take care of you. But check on your people. Check on your elderly. People haven't been visiting them. Check on your people that are in nursing homes. Those are just starting to open up where you can do some visiting. Call your people and check on them and see how they're doing. And if you haven't talked to somebody in a long time on purpose, try to remember why you're mad. If you can't remember why you're mad, then you shouldn't still be mad. So just check on them and see how they're doing. We don't necessarily always have the time that we think we have. The Lord is carrying us through a season right now with my mom that hit us suddenly. We didn't have time to prepare. And, we're blessed. The Lord is healing. The Lord is yet healing and bringing her back to her full capacities. But we didn't have time to prepare. we didn't have time to sit down and try to, hammer things out and make sure everybody was okay with everybody. We suddenly had to deal with the situation. I'm not speaking anything into anybody's life, but what I'm saying is if you got issues, work them out. Because we don't tomorrow. It's not promised to us. So check in with people, see how they're doing. Call your mama. Check daddy, see how they doing. Call granny and auntie. Some of our close family friends just lost an auntie today. Just tomorrow, tonight ain't promised to you.
No.
Talking about tomorrow, tonight ain't promised to you. So check on them. Are they okay? Send them a text message. Call them. Post something on their wall on Facebook. Do something, but let them know you're thinking about them and love them. That's our whole goal. Is to just check in and catch up with one another and see how things are going. We've been blessed that if my son is busy, my friends have been available to stop by, and it's been a blessing. So check on your people and then come back and see us next week. Thank you to those of you who will catch the replay.
I won't be here next week.
Like and share. And so we will talk to you all later. Have a good night. See you, son. Love you, Minister Jason. Thank you for hanging out with us. It's been an absolute joy. And we will talk to you all later. Bye.